Nadal dropped out of the top 10 ATP after 18 years. The break from playing until the end of March caused Nadal to lose many points and fall out of the top 10 ATP tables on March 20. On March 20, Nadal had 600 points deducted from his achievement in the Indian Wells final last year. He ended his record of 912 consecutive weeks in the ATP Top 10, with a total of 6,538 days, starting April 25, 2005. With all the injuries I've had over the past year, this is something you have to accept, Nadal said of the current situation in an interview on March 2. I've broken ribs, suffered 2 abs lacerations, loin injuries, and leg problems. It's been a miracle to keep playing. Nadal is currently 9th in the ATP rankings according to Live scores after Holger Rune took the lead thanks to being in the semi-finals of the Acapulco tournament. Taylor Fritz also made it to the semi-finals and climbed to number 5. Regarding a total deduction of 1,000 points for last year's Indian Wells Championship, Fritz still has 2,795 points, 80 more than Nadal. Those standing close to Nadal are Hubert Hurkacz and Felix Auger-Aliassime, defending only 90 and 10 points in Indian Wells, respectively. King of Clay will drop out of the top 10 on March 20. Nadal could drop to 13th if Cameron Norrie maintains his current form and Jannik Sinner accumulates more points. Being outside the top 10 ATP puts Nadal at risk of facing strong opponents right from the quarter-finals of major tournaments. I want to be in Monte Carlo, Barcelona, and Madrid, but things are not clear, Nadal said of his goals for this year's clay season. Every day, I do recovery training at the academy. I am waiting for the improvement of the injuries, but not sure about the time. Nadal has lost 7 of his last 9 matches since being eliminated in the 4th round of the US Open last year. He also previously withdrew from the Wimbledon semifinals because of a torn abdominal muscle. The 36-year-old has had a successful first half of the 2022 season, winning the Australian Open and Roland Garros. But he started the injury in March, when attending the Indian Wells Masters, and then continuously sidelined for the second half of the season. Nadal continued his hip injury at the Australian Open earlier this year, losing to Mackenzie McDonald in the second round. After Wimbledon in 2012, he took 8 months off due to injury but did not fall out of the top 10. The following year he returned to lift 5 Masters and 2 Grand Slams. Especially in the US Open, after drawing evenly with Djokovic in the previous 2 sets, Nadal faced 3 break points in the hinge game of the 3rd set when the score was 4-4, 0-40. Nadal saved all breakpoints, and stunned Djokovic, so he lost the next game and the whole match. McEnroe has to say that it was a steal in the middle of the day because when it was assumed that the game was in Djokovic's favor, Nadal turned it around so spectacularly. While the fans of Nadal are trying to drown after Nadal lost the match, maybe their idol is about to fly out of the top 10 and has not set a return date. They will have a song about the bad luck of idol when the most constant injury is at the end of his career, but they forget one thing is that it is natural when Nadal chooses to play like that is also a factor for Nadal to dominate on the clay court that no player can touch. The twisted rope must also break, let alone forearms, knees, or chest when 20 years of Nadal hitting the clay court with such spin. So don't say lousy luck. Nadal is fortunate to have played for many years, but now he is seriously ill. Look at Thiem, just because he wanted to reach the level of Null and Nadal. Coach Masu stuffed Thiem's stamina all summer in exchange for a better life. Still, Thiem only got 1 GS when he missed Null and Nadal at the US Open and disappeared due to devastating injuries. Everything has a price. With a low ranking before entering the clay season, it will be a significant difficulty for Nadal because the break is lengthy and requires many matches. Meeting the tops soon will limit Nadal's ability to adapt. Hopefully, Nadal still participates in all the pre-RG tournaments despite the low title competition. Good people often have the same mindset. For example, Djokovic and County Route 7 think they are unbeatable and very proud of having a youthful body compared to their actual age. And great people are often very humble, such as Nadal and Messi, because they also understand people's physical limitations. It's probably not a coincidence that CR7's son loves Messi, and Djokovic idolizes Nadal. Messi shoots the ball with his left foot, and Nadal holds the racket in his left hand. Thank you for creating beautiful ball-like wonders for the sports world. A true tennis fan, I suggest that the ATP final be held on clay once he is permanently logged out of the top 10 ATP to Turin. Perhaps from this year onwards, breathing the ATP final atmosphere at the end of the year is also a luxury for Nadal. Nad is old and worn out, being out of the top is only natural. Big Three's disbandment officially took place last year. Now is the unipolar position of Novak. After 2 years, men's tennis will enter a period of chaos when no one or small group will achieve true hegemony. Rafa's retirement has been on the table for many years. I hope that when it happens, he will be completely healthy to enjoy life, or Zverev and Thiem will soon regain their form, and Med and Alcaraz will stay strong. Achievements: Sinner, Korda, Draper, Felix, Ruud, Rublev, Shapo, and Brooksby had a breakthrough so that when Rafa retired, he still had the motivation to watch tennis. After March 20, Nadal's score on the chart was only 2,715, as analyzed above. At that time, when Nadal returned to Monte Carlo but unfortunately suffered another injury and took a break for 5 or 6 months when he deducted 2,000 points at Roland Garros for winning 2,000 points in Roland Garros 2022, and 720 points at Wimbledon in Wimbledon 2022 semifinal, is that I haven't counted a few prizes like Roma, Madrid, Barcelona. Nadal has run out of points. This case is difficult but not impossible.